Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin. It's Friday. In the studio with me, Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson. And it is a special weekend.
All is quiet and calm in the second city. Two rivals ready for a battle not pretty. The green and the blue going head on to head. The fans are well warned of rhymes left unsaid. Memories fading of Greg and McNeil, of Cooper or Johnston for victory's zeal. We yearn for a Laudrup or Larsson to cheer, and talk of an Aitken or Ferguson steer. It's Gerrard or Lennon, which one genius or fool, when games end with losers and winners to drool. Let battle commence with no blood spilled in hate. Cheer for the goal that seals your team's fate. Glasgow is rich with a culture of nations, our family of race and many variations. Unite with your friends for your favourite team, but don't let your differences take you to extremes. All is quiet and calm in this second city. Two rivals ready for a battle not pretty.
Can't wait, Barry. It's going to be absolutely magnificent, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exciting. That it's gets the stomach churning a wee bit, butterflies going. But that's what it's all about. It's a great occasion. It's a great game to play in. The atmosphere is unbelievable, and these players should make the most of it. Because, as I said, for me, it's the best game.
And is it fair to say, Ruffy, and you might agree with me, you might not, but this is the most eagerly anticipated game in 8 years?
Yeah, I think we all enjoy Rangers Celtic games. Sometimes the football isn't pretty, but everything that goes with it is. It's a fantastic day for everybody concerned, obviously more so for the winners. But for the last 3 or 4 years, it's all been catch up with Rangers. Everybody's been talking about the gap and is it closing? Is it closed? We'll know this weekend whether it's closed or not, because I think Rangers have been improving year on year, and it's up to Celtic now to go out there at the weekend and prove to people who think that this gap is closed that it's not.
We're finally going to get a prediction out of Ruffy on this programme, even if we have to drag it out of him. It's as simple as that. Before we talk about it in depth, let's look back on those Europa League games, because it was joy. The early kick-off in Sweden, Ruffy, delivered a 4-1 emphatic win for Celtic against the IK.
Yeah, they got off to a good start. I thought James Forrest's first goal, his touch before he put it in the back of the net, was absolutely sublime. After that, I don't think their goalkeeper covered himself in a lot of glory, but there's not many teams go away from home and score 4 goals. It doesn't matter who you're playing against, you've got to, take the chances when they come along. And I've said all along, that's what you want going into a big game, that kind of morale boosting result. The plane would have been buzzing coming back and everything leading up to it. You want to go in, as Barry will tell you, to a game on a high, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, and for me, Barry, I think James Forrest is the best player in Scotland right now. Yeah,
it's a great shout. He's certainly up there. For me, over the last 3 or 4 seasons, he's probably been one of the most consistent performers. He's just got better wage, and he's a massive player for Celtic. That game on Sunday, Rangers will need to keep him quiet. For me, he's a match winner, and on his day, he can take anybody at the cleaners. Yeah.
The downside of that match, and as ever with European games, listen, with domestic games as well, we're constantly talking about trouble. This time around, Ruffy, there was trouble in the Celtic end, and Celtic have immediately released a statement regarding it. The club intends to launch a full investigation into the events in Stockholm. This, of course, but the initial reports and intelligence we have gathered suggest that local supporters from a rival club may have been responsible for the unfortunate disturbances we witnessed. If that is indeed the case, then obviously Celtic will strongly defend the reputation of our own supporters. There was some heavy-handed tactics from the police, but nevertheless, if the investigation delivers a report that says it was Celtic fans, again, it leaves them wide open to a fine.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. In this day and age, obviously, CCTV, I think they go pretty close to where the incident happened, and I'm sure the powers that be will come to the right conclusion. We do know sometimes that the police are heavy-handed over there, but once we know the evidence, we weren't privy to being over there. So I think once you scour through everything, they'll come to the bottom of it.
OK, Celtic are in the Europa League group stages. Here's how they fared in the draw. Lazio, Rennes and Cluj. It was written in the stars, Barry Ferguson.
Yeah, great group. Some very good teams, and I'm sure Celtic will be quietly confident that they can get out of that group. I don't see why they can't. I think Celtic on their day, when they're producing some of their top form, will be, as I say, confident in getting through that group.
Yep, and the manager again, maybe with revenge in the air against Cluj.
That's a great draw, got a couple of glamour games there, and obviously a chance to maybe exact some sort of retribution to Cluj as well. So yeah, we're delighted to be in there and delighted with the group. So a lot of big games to look forward to, which is exactly what we want.
Yeah, and news obviously today that Celtic were looking to strengthen their squad. Greg Taylor, an obvious target at Kilmarnock. They had a bid rejected, which Kilmarnock today said the bid that was offered by Celtic, again, way below their valuation. Although, talking about team selection and the players he'll have at his disposal, he's certainly still on the hunt. Whether he goes back in for Taylor is another matter, but the manager today just confirmed that Greg Taylor is a real option.
It's an option. I think it's well documented. We are looking for a left back, and there's been a number of options, and Greg will be one of those.
Well, they've got an option on him. They're looking at possibly the left back from Rosenborg as well, Ruffy.
Yeah, and I'm sure the supporters, excuse me, will be hoping they don't mess this one up. Obviously, Kilmarnock will get a figure, and quite rightly so. And they'll be looking at the amount of money that Celtic are putting out in other players and have a sort of evaluation. So if he really, really wants them, they might have to just come up with the money. OK,
before we get the predictions on the big game and talk about it on Sunday, of course, there was, right after Celtic booking their place in the group stages, a crucial match at Ibrox. Rangers had to try and see off Legia Warsaw. They left it late, Barry, but they got the job done.
Yeah, it was always going to be the case, I think. I think they were going to come and sit in and try and hit Rangers in the break. But I thought overall, watching the game back, Rangers deserved it. I thought some of their play at times was really good. And the signs that I'm seeing is last season, if this was the Rangers team, they might have started to feel sorry for themselves to go right to the end. And obviously a great ball in for Jones and great bit of movement for Morelos, and he scores that goal. But at the end of the day, they thoroughly deserve to get through.
Katic got man of the match. He's improving. It looks as if slowly but surely a well-organised, well-drilled back line is exactly what Steven Gerrard wants.
Yeah, he's... At times I wasn't convinced with Katic last year, but listen, Rangers have got a lot of competition for places. They've brought in a couple of defenders, and maybe that's gave him the shoot in the arm to say, right, listen, I need to start producing better performances, because there is real competition for places now in that Rangers squad. And Katic, certainly for the start of the season, has shown that he's more than capable of playing.
Well, the name Ryan Kent is never too far away from Rangers fans' thoughts, but I think the manager is now distancing himself from the Liverpool winger.
No, nothing's changed on the Ryan Kent situation. Again, we'd love to have him here. Liverpool's stance hasn't changed on the Ryan Kent situation. So we move on and we move forward. Unless we were to get a phone call on that situation, it's as it was. But everyone knows what we think of Ryan Kent and how much we'd love to have him here.
OK, so here's the draw. Rangers, what do you make of it, Barry?
Yeah, exciting again. Porto, Feyenoord, Champions League pedigree. So again, that'll be. It must be exciting for the players looking at that. I know it's not the Champions League. I'm like you, Peter. The Europa League is not my favourite competition, but they've still got decent teams in there, and they can go and pit their wits against them and see how far they've actually came.
And the manager believes that his side will be very much the underdogs in that group.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic draw for us. Some really tasty games in there. Some nice countries to go and visit. But again, we're not in that group to make up the numbers. We want to go and give a good account of ourselves. We want to do our fans proud, and we want to try and surprise a few. We know we go in as the underdogs. But we'll go in and give it our best shot, and we'll do everything we can to try and get out of the group.
Congratulations to both Rangers and Celtic into the Europa League group stages. That'll do the coefficient the world of good. Let's hope we get some positive performances from them as well. So back to domestic issues. On the way, we'll be looking at the fixtures, but as ever with Monday to Friday, we always give you a little quiz question. So here's the winner and the answer. Congratulations, Franny. Alfredo Di Stefano. Did you two get that?
No,
you were too young.
Too young.
Yeah, I got it with the early clues. I didn't think he was the manager of the team that Aberdeen beat.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think actually that Sir Alex Ferguson, if my memory serves me correct from his book, actually delivered a little bottle of whiskey to Alfredo Di Stefano as well, just as a nice little gift ahead of the game itself. And Aberdeen beat a very good Real Madrid side. Di Stefano couldn't quite replicate his form as a manager as he was as a player at Real Madrid, where he was just an absolute god. Sadly missed. Okay, let's have a look at the Premiership fixtures in Scotland this weekend. Aberdeen, Ross County, Hearts against Hamilton, Livingston, St Mirren, Motherwell, Hibs, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, and High Noon, Ibrox. Rangers against Celtic. It's going to be fantastic this weekend. I'm looking forward to it immensely. Of course, so many former players who've sampled the highs and lows of Old Firm games have been talking about it as well. Before we get the predictions from these two guys here, Paul Gascoigne and Paul Elliott were talking about that fixture.
With the focus on Sunday, I think it's about the psychology of that result, if they can get the result, because the impact could really destabilise Rangers if Celtic get the result and take take Celtic on to the next level.
Obviously, the pressure's on him for it to stop Celtic get 9 in a row. So let's hope he does it this year. Yeah, hopefully, because I'm in Scotland, I'm not going to say no. No, hopefully he can do.
At the moment, Celtic have proved by their consistency in lifting honours that they are the team to beat. So it's up to Rangers to put themselves in a position to show that they are better than what they were last year.
You think, whoever beats each other in them derby games going to win the league, but there is 4 to play,
Yeah, there might be 4 to play, but the next important Old Firm game is the one coming up. It's as simple as that. Who are the favourites?
Celtic are the favourites because they're the champions of Scotland.
The bookies disagree with you. They think Rangers are the favourites.
Well, that's my opinion. If that's my opinion, I'm saying Rangers. Celtic will be favourites.
You're still in Walter Smith mode, aren't you?
Listen,
lock it down.
They're champions of Scotland.
Yeah.
So they should be getting in as favourites.
Okay. Don't worry about giving us your opinion at the moment, Ruffy, because if Barry thinks they're favourites, Neil Lennon thinks Celtic are the underdogs.
You're asking the wrong man. Just go over to Murray Park and ask Stephen how they would deal with it. We've been favourites. If the bookies think that Rangers are favourite, then good, that suits me fine. I don't know why, because our form has been fantastic and we're in goal scoring form and we're winning games convincingly, so it's not bad being the underdog with the way we're playing at the minute.
I think he's quite happy to be called the underdog with the bookies, Ruffy. But am I right in thinking, there's no fear from either team now, because both sets of fans think it's getting closer. It'll be interesting to see the style of play from this one on Sunday.
Yeah, it will be. I think the team that doesn't go into it with the fear factor will probably come out of it. The confident team, and you look at both sets of teams and you look at the big players. For me, it's the big players that turn up on either side on the day and produce what we know they can. And both teams have got them. They've got winners in these teams. I just think the home advantage will have a big say. I think the crowd will have a big say. But again, Celtic supporters and Celtic players will say when big games come around, we turn up. This is, for me, is going to be the game when we have to see that, because the defence hasn't been that settled. A lot of new players coming into the team, a lot of new players playing in that game. So I think it's going to be very, very tight on the day.
Yeah, well, you talked about playing without fear. Certainly Stephen Gerrard believes that win against Celtic in December has certainly given them newfound confidence as well as their form of late.
Well, look, this club's had a tough time. It's been down the leagues, it's been back up. Celtic have continued to have Champions League money and continued to strengthen and bolster the squad. And it's been a game of catch-up. The gap was huge. And it was always going to take time to close that gap. But I think the fixture last year, the Christmas one, when we beat them 1-0, I think that lifted a lot of fear and gave us a lot of confidence and belief that if we find the right level of performance, we're a match for anyone, certainly at Ibrox. And that's what gives us confidence going into this fixture.
Yeah, never mind the fans, the players don't have that fear anymore, Barry. Do you sense that?
Yep, I sense it, and I really think and I hope that Rangers do go for it, go and attack Celtic, because I do think Celtic are vulnerable at the back. I think Celtic are really dangerous going forward. There's no doubt in my mind they've got players that can hurt you, but I've just got a sense that Rangers will go for it on Sunday. They're at home, they'll have the vast majority of the crowd. I think there's only 800 Celtic fans going to be there, so I think Rangers will go out and start right at them for the word go.
Yeah, and with that in mind, let's look at the teams potentially that could line up here. Ruffy, have a look at that Celtic side. Is that too far away from how you think it'll line up?
Not too far away, no, I would agree. Obviously the back four could be shuffled about, and you're obviously carrying a wee injury.
Looks as if he could shrug it off. They reckon Ayer and Szymanowicz.
Again, you've got a centre-half playing full-back. I know he looked good at home at Parkhead, but as Barry said, you put a winger up against him, that could be trouble on either side. And I think that's what Rangers' strength will be if when their team is announced, whether they've got an out-and-out winger against either of the two, could open up their defence.
What do you make of the Rangers side, Barry? Could it be this one?
Yes, that's my team. That's my team. I think Arfield will start on the left and Ojo will go to the right maybe. Both of them cutting in, obviously. But that, for me, will be the Rangers team.
Do you see Jordan Jones maybe being an impact player if needed?
Yeah, I think Jordan Jones will have a big season for Rangers. I don't think he'll play on Sunday, but I think he'll have, as I says, he'll have a big impact in a lot of games during the season. I just don't think it's the right game for him to play. I think that team that's been put up there will be the team that will start against Celtic.
Okay. Predictions. Ruffy?
I'm going to go solo by home, crowd, that Celtic defence. We don't know what it's going to be. I hope Neil Lennon does. I'm going to go Rangers to win 2-1.
I'm confident that Rangers will win the game 3-1.
Okay, I'll go 2-2, so that there's some modicum of balance. I'm not sure there is balance because there's nobody tipping Celtic. Aberdeen against Ross County. Aberdeen finally let Stevie May go. You look at their side now, have they got enough to see off Ross County? They haven't had a great start.
Yeah, Derek needs his team to start scoring goals, and if Ross County defend the way they did last week, they are going to lose goals, so I'm going to go Aberdeen 3-0.
Yeah, I think Aberdeen will win the game 2-0.
Yeah, okay, we're all on the Don side. I'm going to go for Motherwell to take Hibs out of this one. Just home advantage, Ruffy, might be the difference here. What about you?
No, I'm going to stick by Hibs and hope the defence can get into some decent form. They're certainly scoring goals, but losing far too many. And if they can cut that out, I think they'll win 2-1.
So home advantage counting for nothing there?
Not at Motherwell, no. Is it going to be? Is there 50,000
No,
Motherwell
just
supporters?
want to get your gauge and your logic on everything. Baz?
It's been a tough week for Hibs, but I think they'll bounce back, Peter. I think they'll go to a difficult place and win this game.
Okay, Livingston against St Mirren. It's the aerial attack. I can't see anything other than Livingston win. What about you?
I think this has got a draw written all over the top of it. I think St Mirren defensively are strong. I thought they'd done okay against Rangers. They've done the same at Hibs. So I think they'll go there and they'll snatch a point.
Yeah, I think they'll get a point as well.
Yeah, St Johnstone against Kilmarnock. I'm looking at it, bottom of the table, 2 defeats, 1 draw. If Killie lose this one, talk about cranking up the pressure on Alessio.
Yeah, I think the new signing, striker coming in, will lift the dressing room. Wouldn't be surprised if he scored as well. So I'm going to go St Johnstone 2-1.
Yep, I think it will be a big confidence boost. I think St Johnstone will win the game.
Yeah. Oh, what about Hearts against Hamilton? I'm going for the Jambos to win this one, Ruffy.
I'm going for the Jambos to win this one quite easy. Obviously, Stephen Naismith back. I think it will be 3-0.
They've got a striker in there now, Machino as well. So suddenly he's adding the firepower.
Yep, and Glenn Whelan will be getting games under his belt as well. He'll be his knowledge of the game will be a big boost for him. So I think Hearts will win this game.
Just briefly, the Dundee derby. I'm going for United.
So I'm going to go United. Shankland to score 2-0.
He's giving goal scorers as well here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done United for me.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll email you with the times of the goals as well if you want them from Ruffy. I'll leave you now with Eric Cantona, who picked up an award at the UEFA Awards ceremony, obviously for his services to football. The man was a genius on the park, and of course, this was his quote when he picked up the award: "As flies to wanton boys are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport. Soon the science will be able to slow down the ageing of the cells to the state. Soon we will become eternal. Only accidents, crimes, wars will still kill us. Unfortunately, crimes, wars will multiply. I love football. Thank you. Good night."
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.